Hey everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus a little bit of insight into what it all means. Joining us as always is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, coming to you live from right here at the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. We are so glad you decided to make us part of your day.
Also here, AMC Movie News Senior Editor, Amy Rose Eisenbach.
Hey guys, happy to have you back, Captain Canada.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Happy Canada Day to all my fellow Canucks out there. Happy Canada Day, July 1st.
Did I throw you that softball or
yes,
what?
Yes, you did. Well done.
Also here, writer-director John Schnepp.
Hey, I wish you guys heard what we were talking about right before we started the show. What is Canada Day anyway? What does that mean?
It's Canada Day. It's founded in 1867, July 1st to commemorate.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Read up on the long, rich history of Canada Day, my friend.
Right.
And also here, one half of Schmoes Know, Christian Harloff.
Oh, happy Canada Day, but also happy it's almost Apes release day.
Oh,
yeah.
No, wait for that one.
Getting close. And Amy Rose, you did something pretty. You did something pretty cool yesterday.
We sure did. Yesterday, wonderful Warner Brothers had the great idea to have the Tammy Pie Truck stop by our studio, and you can see us there feeding our faces, about to anyway, with some delicious apple pie. Melissa McCarthy obviously stars in that film. I've heard it's very clever, so thank you, Warner Brothers and team, for sending that pie truck. We had a lot of laughs and a lot of good times.
And a lot of pies.
And a lot of pies.
And many pies. And hey, guys, listen, I want to remind you right now, I'm going to be reminding you about this over the next couple of weeks, but of course Comic-Con is coming up, San Diego Comic-Con. I know a lot of you guys are planning on being down there at it. We got a bunch of things going on, including we've got a panel going on with Manu Bennett, the Masters of the Web panel, talking about the great trend and the current status of comic book movies and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things we're doing at Comic-Con this year is we're doing our annual meet and greet. We started it last year. We're going to be doing a meet and greet on the Friday night of Comic-Con. I'll give you the time and the location, stuff like that. It's just letting you know where we're going to be hanging out so you guys can come down and meet us if you'd like. But I'm going to let you know that at that meet and greet, we got a bunch of these exclusive Sons of AMC patches that you can see here, and you can see on my arm as well. We got a bunch of these patches made up, and oh, there we go, right there. And we are going to be giving out, we got a couple hundred of these, we're going to be giving these out at the meet and greet on the Friday night of Comic-Con. So make sure if you're down there, you stop on by, say hello, and get patched in. All right, let's get on with the movie news today.
The next X-Men film, XMen Apocalypse, doesn't hit AMC theaters until 2016, but director Bryan Singer took to his Instagram to reveal a sneak look at the treatment for the new film. From what we can see in the picture, there is a prologue battle set at the Nile and involving the Four Horsemen, who were also seen at the end credit scene of X-Men Days of Future Past, along with Apocalypse. John, what do you take away from this image Bryan Singer put out?
The first thing, I've said this before, I always get excited when the theoretical becomes tangible. Yeah. I'm very excited for XMen Apocalypse, but now there's something actually kind of, hey, look at printed page. I know it's stupid to get excited about that, but I do. The main thing I take away from this, though, is this, that Bryan Singer's still there.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people started rumbling, and there was some talk that maybe because of the controversy or whatever, that maybe he would be separating from it and Fox might go in a different direction. But really, neither he nor the studio have given any real indication that's the case. And the fact that Singer's now getting on Instagram, putting out the treatment, hyping up the film, I think this is a good sign that Singer will be back. He will be directing it because he just gave us the best X-Men film we've ever had. So, all due respect to people who have really like the first class, but he's given us at least one of the best X-Men films we've ever had. And so I'm very excited he's going back. It's also nice to see that they're going to follow the cues that they did from X-Men Days of Future Past that started off with heavy action beats, And it looks like from this, scene one, Four Horsemen, big battle scene in the Nile. Oh, this is great. So I really like where we're going with this, and that's how I see it. Anyway, Christian, what about you?
Yeah, I love it. I actually was one of those people, if you go back to our spoiler review that we all did, I said I didn't think Singer would return. I thought it was the controversy was going to push over and take him out of it. But what's been going on, it looks like lawsuits are starting to get dropped and things are happening. And so at some point, someone at Fox goes, go ahead and post this, kid. You got it. So Singer goes, and he wouldn't post this unless I'm coming back. In regards to what we see here, yeah, I think you have every right to be excited about this because what it did from that end credit scene some people who are not hardcore X-Men fans said, well, what's that? What's that mean?
Oh, a lot of people ask.
Who is that? Yeah.
This is going to take that away. And for people who are just going to see an X-Men film to see the X-Men film, that starts, and then you go back, watch Days of Future Past, and watch that scene, and you go, oh, that's cool. So far, I'm very excited about the potential.
Amy Rose?
Yeah, I had to remember the company we were in for the screening we went to for X-Men because they're like, who is that? I'm like, really? And I was like, okay, I need to not be such an elitist nerd here. But yeah, I mean, he did this last time with Days of Future Past script as well. And we're all like, ooh, and you're right. It starts off with a bang, with the action sequence, which is smart. And I'm thrilled that Bryan Singer is returning. I mean, that is my favorite X-Men film to date. And I think that, you know, it was his redemption since he didn't get to finish the original trilogy. And I'm just really excited. And the character of Apocalypse, I mean, the rich story, like, it's on. So I'm absolutely thrilled that he's returning, hopefully.
Schnepp?
Yeah, very, very excited to see. I kept wanting to, can't you just turn the Instagram feed this way and let me read the whole sentence instead of these fractured words? But, you know, you can kind of piece it together that that's a giant action scene as the powers will be revealed variety of, what's the rest of it, you know? So it's an exciting little tidbit, and it's got all the guys' names on it that you want to see associated with X-Men, especially Bryan Singer now. It's like total redemption story for Bryan Singer as far as I was concerned. I was like, Jack the Giant Slayer and a couple other products that he had made in the last few years were like, hey, I don't know what you're doing besides making movies, but, you know, this was a total return to Bryan Singer at his best, and I think his best. So far to date, I think this is my favorite film he's made.
I gotta tell you, Usual Suspects, and X-Men Days of Future Past, man. That's how much I love this movie, that I'm actually starting to compare it to Usual Suspects.
Flip it for real.
It's on the same level for me, for sure.
And you know, you just brought up something totally unrelated topic. Yet another, one of the reasons I'm not thrilled with Instagram. Why do you make us make the stupid picture square? Anyway, that's a totally separate issue. What's next?
It's been confirmed that actor Tom Hardy will join the upcoming Leonardo DiCaprio Western, The Revenant. In the film, DiCaprio plays a frontiersman who wants to get revenge on a couple of men who left him for dead after being mauled by a bear. Christian, do you think Hardy and DiCaprio will be a good fit together for a film like this?
I thought this was a good fit when we posted it on our website about a month ago. There have been rumblings that this was going to happen. Like I said, we posted it on our site, and it was very close to happening because they have such a good relationship. Tom Hardy and Leonardo DiCaprio, they worked so great in Inception together. I love this pairing. I think the two of them, it's no secret that Tom Hardy's one of my favorite actors, as is Leonardo DiCaprio. So this matchup, anything these guys do, and Westerns are not always easy to do. These guys doing it, who knows box office how it's going to do, because they're tough to pull off. But I will be there watching it because this is a team that I want to see work together again.
Yeah, I fully agree. What a great team. I'm really excited for Mad Max. I mean, like Tom Hardy's an incredible actor. Since Bronson, I've been like, wow, where did this guy come from? Never even noticed him in Nemesis, which
I was going to say, since Star Trek Nemesis.
Yeah, since Star Trek, the amazing Star Trek, it's like, that's when let's forget about that. Bronson, and he's done so many other great, amazing films. Pairing him with Leonardo, I'm really excited to see this pairing once again. So,
Amy Rose?
Yeah, I mean, two of pretty much the best of their class here, and they're both extremely transformative, like, actors. Like, they really become the role. I feel like a lot of the times you see big names like George Clooney, who are still great, but you still see them in the role. But these two guys fully become the characters, and to watch them again, I mean, Inception was spectacular, so I'm really excited. And the premise is really cool. 3:10 to Yuma, yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, there's nothing not to love about this. Western, the concept of the story sounds incredible. Nothing is better than a Western with a revenge story. I mean, that is just so pure and so right. And if you've got Leonardo DiCaprio playing the dude out for revenge, and if you've got, we're speculating here, but Tom Hardy is one of the guys that he's after, awesome. Yeah. That is gold right there. So you can completely sign me up for this. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, did they trick him into a bear cave? Like, there's got to be some more of a twist than, the bear got me, run away. It's like some real evil thing they did, so.
All right, folks, listen, before we get into buy and sell, I want to bring up the patch one more time because I forgot something. I know not all of you can make it down to Comic-Con, so we are going to give one of these away to one of you guys. And here's how you can get your hands on this patch that we will send out to you. Email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com, okay? So email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com, and in the subject line, put patch. And here's what you need to do. One of my favorite shows of all time is the show Spartacus. And it just so happens that at Comic-Con we have one of the stars of Spartacus, Manu Bennett, is going to be on our panel. So I've got a trivia question for you regarding Spartacus. Here's the trivia question. Name the actress, not the character, but name the actress who played Spartacus's wife. So name the actress who played Spartacus's wife. Email that to us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com with patch in the subject line. And we're going to get together all the people who answer correctly. We'll pick one at random and send you out one of the patches. So that's that. All right, folks, now it is time for buy or sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down. Then Schnepp, Amy Rose, me, and Christian are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So Ashley, what do we got?
Glenn Ficarra and John Requa, writing-directing pair that made Crazy Stupid Love, is said to be lining up the upcoming film Taliban Shuffle, which is being produced by and will star Tina Fey. The film is based on the true memoirs of journalist Kim Barker. The film will follow Barker's experiences in Afghanistan and Pakistan, chronicling the years after America's initial routing of the Taliban and the reemergence of the group in the years that followed. Amy Rose, buy or sell the sounds of Taliban Shuffle?
Bye. I love Tina Fey. I think she's phenomenal actress, writer, just human being. She's just great. She's classy, and this seems like a really good departure for some of her other work. And I liked Crazy Stupid Love until pretty much that last scene when Steve Carell, we're way past spoiler territory, all right, guys, where Steve Carell was in the classroom.
School assembly?
I was like, okay, was that really necessary? Because I thought it was great and had a lot of heart and a lot of comedy and real life situations, but then that just kept pushing it to the other end of the spectrum. But I still think they have talent, and I've mentioned many times that my weakness is true life stories based on this. I'm in journalism for entertainment, so adding real political crazy situations like this really fascinate me. So yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah, this is a huge buy for me. This is great. Number one, because of Tina Fey.
Yeah.
But number two, the team behind it. I unabashedly loved Crazy Stupid Love. I thought that movie was awesome, even with that.
Oh, I hated that scene.
So I think that's great. Also, I believe she's brought on one of her 30 Rock writers to actually finish off the screenplay for it. That's good. The whole idea about fitting comedy into this not so funny situation of the fact that a lot of people believe we left the job undone in Afghanistan and what has happened in the years since. And I believe if I read this right at some point, like the real life journalist at some point even had like the former prime minister of Pakistan was falling in love with her and pursuing. It sounds like there could be so many layers to this. It's a big buy for me, Schnepp.
Yeah, I buy it too. Tina Fey is amazing. I finally saw Mean Girls, which I hadn't seen.
It's a great.
I was like, wow, this Tina Fey has something going on. Obviously, Lemon, amazing, Saturday Night Live, but I had missed that for many years and finally saw it like a couple months ago and was blown away. Love it. So Taliban Shuffle is also a great title. It reminds me of the Bears song, Do the Super Bowl Shuffle from the horrible 80s. Remember?
Why does it remind you of that? That's terrible.
Well, Refrigerator Perry actually has a cameo.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a buy for me as well. I think what Tina Fey does so well, she can toe the line. She's just so smart. She's so smart with her comedy that we might get a couple not so silly scenes, but that in a very serious situation like this where you want to what's going on, and then you get a laugh out of it, you won't feel that awkward laughing because she can bring you there. So I loved every second of Crazy Stupid Love, even the end. I'm sorry. So I want to see what this team does with a situation like this and with Tina Fey driving.
I like that it was too cheesy for me, but you guys are into it.
All right, what's next?
Despite denials from several Marvel people, the rumor that a Planet Hulk movie is on the way continues to float around. However, in a recent interview with Mark Ruffalo, the actor seems to flatly deny the possibility of the project, saying the following: Planet Hulk, I don't think that's the way to go yet, he said. I think you need more Banner. The whole thing is just him as Hulk on a planet fighting other gladiators. Schnepp, given what Ruffalo has just said, buy or sell that we'll actually see a Planet Hulk movie.
I just love that picture. He's so laid back. Peace, bro. I think Banner and the Hulk, I think they work great in a team environment. Banner needs to play off a group of people, as does the Hulk. I mean, the two Hulk standalone movies, they were great. They got better, let's say that. Like, I really liked the last one with Norton. That was fun. That it didn't make a ton of money. I could see them doing a standalone Hulk, but now with Ruffalo and the way they've established him in Avengers, moving on into Avengers: Age of Ultron. A standalone Hulk, I could see them easily spinning it off into something else with the Hulk and keeping him rooted with another team or something. It's like Planet Hulk would be great to see. I wouldn't mind seeing a standalone Hulk. Like I said before, I'd love to see the Red Hulk involved or all the other Rainbow Hulks. The coalition of all. We got the Blue Hulk, the Atom Bomb, or all the other. They have a bunch of different Hulks, but
Here's the interesting thing about this. I completely agree. It's difficult to do a Hulk movie without Banner. And if you know World War Hulk, or Planet Hulk, I should say, which is the precursor to World War Hulk, if you know Planet Hulk, you know there is no Banner. I mean, basically, there's no Banner. It's just all CGI, and that's not really the direction they want to go. However, reports are coming out, and I won't say where I had already heard this before anyway, but now reports have actually started hitting online that Marvel's plan, this is the theory going around right now, and the rumor that's going out, Marvel's plan is at the end of Avengers 2, the Hulk will get shot into space. Now, in Planet Hulk, the way the story comes about is that the world's greatest heroes all basically agree, we love Hulk, we love Banner, but he is just too dangerous for this planet. And they trap him and fire him off into space, and Hulk ends up on this prison planet where he becomes a gladiator and a slave, and I won't go into the whole story. But the word is right now that at the end of Avengers 2, Hulk is going to get shot in space, whether the Avengers do it, whether Ultron does it, whatever. He's gone, and then we'll meet up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the word, and hence that will be your main storyline for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That's what's being reported online today. I'm not going to say whether I believe it or not, except to say that I have heard this before prior to today. I'll let somebody decide if they want to let me people know where I heard this from.
Very curious.
But that would be interesting. That would be a very interesting way of kind of capturing, one of the main plot hooks of Planet Hulk. Because then, instead of doing World, you could set up a Return of the Hulk to Earth sort of thing. They could do a lot of very cool things with this without sticking to the original source material and still make it really great. Anyway, Schnepp.
I was going to say, that brings up, we talked about Circus being brought on to get more acting from Ruffalo's
as the
Hulks. That could also be feeding into that, to just hey, if you're going to be the Hulk more, let's get more of you in the Hulk. So,
I mean, I'll say it. The first time I heard it was from Latino Review when they posted it a while ago, and the reason I want to bring them up is because it looks like for that much, people were shooting it down right away. It's not going to happen, not going to happen. A lot of rumors in this from what you just said, the rumor that you just heard. It's possible. The question on the table in regards to, do I think that a Planet Hulk movie will happen? I buy that. I do think that it will happen. Do I think it'll happen next? That I sell. I do think from what Ruffalo is saying, I would like to, I think that you give him, let Ruffalo take the reins. Let's see what he does as Hulk and Banner. There's also nothing to say that if they do the Planet Hulk movie, they can't write stuff in there, somehow Banner works. I know that comic book fans might go crazy over it, but in order to make it work for Ruffalo, that could happen. So I like the project. I don't know enough about Planet Hulk. I've never read the comics. You guys hearing about it, listening to you guys, I'm geeking out about it. So watching him as a gladiator and seeing these big things that he's got to fight, because he's the big guy here.
Right.
He's the little guy there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They got giant creatures and smash Hulk.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, I buy that it will happen, but probably not for a while. And I think it makes a lot of sense what Ruffalo is saying. He is my favorite incarnation of the Hulk. And I do want to see Banner continue, and I do want to see that develop. And we don't need to see, the origin story again. That's been done. But I do think that there's a lot of potential to continue with that, maybe after. But I like what you're saying about tying it in, because Feige and team do have a plan, and I like when the universe feels more connected. And we're going to space with, the intergalactic team with Guardians.
And we already know that Thanos is going to be, once again, the puppet master villain in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's the puppet master villain in the Avengers. I think they're setting us up for Avengers 3.
That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, these are all theories. Once again, I don't think we're going to get Planet Hulk the way we understand Planet Hulk, but maybe some kind of a twisted variation of that.
Everything seems to be going, Avengers 3 is going to be Infinity Gauntlet. I mean, that just seems to be this is impossible to not make that happen.
The Return of the Hulk shows up after he's fighting on planets.
All right, what's next?
The Expendables 3 hits AMC theaters on August 15th, but one actor is already looking forward to perhaps being involved in the fourth film. In a recent interview with Coming Soon, former James Bond actor Pierce Brosnan says he's talked with Expendables producer Avi Lerner and let him know that he would very much like to be a part of Expendables 4. John, would you buy or sell Pierce Brosnan in an Expendables movie?
Okay, let's set aside whether or not we think there should be an Expendables 4. Yeah, Pierce Brosnan fits fits the bill. He was Bond. I mean, in the International Spy Game, he was it. For how many films did he do? 4? I can't remember if he did 4 or 5 films as Bond.
Yeah, I thought he did
but
at least 5.
you know, he was Bond, and he was a very good Bond for that type of Bond. He was a Roger Moore kind of Bond.
Pretty boy Bond.
Yeah, but you know, really good. I loved him in it. I think he would be a great fit. Now, whether they should make an Expendables 4 or not, that's a separate question that maybe we'll have an answer for after we watch number 3. But for now, I'm going to buy this. Amy Rose?
Yeah, I'm also going to buy it. They're going to make an Expendables 4. They're going to milk this as far as they can. And the last 2 made some money, and you know, this one's going to make money as well. And they'll just keep. I hope they do pull some women in this, not just Expendables. I think that would create a little more dimension and diversity. But yeah,
well, they've got Ronda Rousey.
Well, Ronda Rousey, but I'm talking about like throw Sigourney Weaver in there, throw some amazing, you know, action female stars. So yeah, I do think that it could happen. I like Pierce Brosnan as an actor. Bond, he's definitely not even in my top 3 favorite Bonds, but I do think he did the womanizing thing very well. But the action, I never really believed that well. But I do think he's charming and he's got character and he's a really solid actor, so I would definitely be okay with
He gave both the best and the worst all at the same time. Bond line I've ever heard is at the end of the one he did with, what was the name of the actress that was married to Charlie Sheen?
Denise Richards.
She's a good scientist.
Yeah, she was an amazing scientist.
And at the end of the movie, they're laying in bed overlooking the ocean, whatever. Bond says, I don't even know if I should say this because it's PG, but
it's great.
He says, and I thought, because her name was Dr. Christmas.
Yeah.
And Bond goes, and I thought Christmas only came once a year.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God.
She's probably the worst Bond girl in history, for sure.
You know what? If they make an Expendables 4, they should also get Timothy Dalton, pull Sean Connery out of retirement, get Roger Moore in there, like just get all the Bonds and make it a super espionage, like Bond-esque Expendables. Still, Sylvester Stallone should show up in a tuxedo. He's like, I don't even know why I'm here. Just make it all Bond style. That would be incredible. Just to flip the whole franchise.
If you can't get Sean Connery, get the guy who plays Sean Connery on Celebrity Jeopardy on Saturday Night Live to pretend he's Sean Connery.
Yeah, and George Lazenby, pull that guy out of retirement. You've never done anything since that one Bond. Come on, dude. You know.
I mean, I buy it kind of. It's just like he's not going to sell the tickets the way that these other guys do. Like when they originally announced like Arnold and Bruce. It's fun to have him in there. He's a good actor. He's fun, and it's Bond. I would rather. Can we have a question of whether or not I'd buy like Steven Seagal and Gary Busey in it? Because I'll buy that.
Yes.
Like, please, I would love that.
Steven Seagal, not so much. Gary Busey, I would love.
Please,
both of those guys. Let's demand to get Chuck Norris back in.
Have you seen Busey's Apple Fire commercial?
Yes.
I love it.
How awesome is that commercial?
Good.
Hello, lamp.
Hello, lamp.
It's the best.
Meatball subs. Anything he delivers is the
Bond,
best.
Gary Busey.
All right, folks, we've reached that part of the show for Mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, if you're watching us live, and we do the show live every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can tweet in some questions to us, and we're going to leave a little bit of time at the end of the show to take your Twitter questions. Just tweet some questions in right now to @AMC Movie News. But for now, it's time for Mailbag. So, Ashley, what do we got?
Tyler Myers writes, I'm a big fan of the show. With the year halfway over, I was wondering, what are your guys' top 5 favorite movies so far this year?
All right, I kind of like getting to the middle part of the year and looking back on what you've had. And I can tell you right now, I've seen some really horrible film this year, but there have been some really great movies that have really surprised me. I'm going to go, this is going to be in order. Number 1 for me, I keep wrestling between Captain America and this, but it's going to be X-Men Days of Future Past for me. Number 2 is a very, very close second, Captain America Winter Soldier. Number 3 for me is going to be the Lego Movie. Number 4 for me is a film I was late to the party to, but is Chef. The Jon Favreau one, not the upcoming one with Bradley Cooper. Then number 5 for me is going to be 22 Jump Street. I've seen that movie in theater 3 times already, and I just keep laughing myself sick every time. But honorable mentions, Neighbors. I didn't think a movie this year could make me laugh more than Neighbors did, and 22 Jump Street did. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is awesome. Edge of Tomorrow is awesome. Noah was a real pleasant surprise for me. The Grand Budapest Hotel was really, really good. Really good films already this year. I can't wait for the second half. Christian, what about you?
Yeah, this is really tough. And Tyler Myers is great, by the way. Always submitting great stuff. It's a 5 for me. Number 5, this is really hard to do, but 5 is How to Train Your Dragon 2. Number 4 is the Tom Hardy movie Lock. I know a lot
It's
of
really
people
good. It
was great.
Haven't seen it. I loved that film. Number 3 was The Raid 2. That was a movie that I think it just came out. If you haven't seen it again, I've been championing it. See it. Number 2 is actually Days of Future Past. That's the one for me. And number 1, I'm going to say so far is Edge of Tomorrow. For me, Edge of Tomorrow just blew me away. I did not. I expected it to be a crap bomb, if you will, and I went. And as I'm watching it, it was so fun and fresh, and it was the best Tom Cruise has been in a very long time. But yeah, I wanted to put Captain America in there. I wanted to put 22 Jump Street. So right now, it could all change, and Apes hasn't come out yet. So right now, yeah, Apes is my number 1.
We are
Apes
hearing nothing.
Yeah.
We all know some people who have seen it. You haven't seen it yet, though,
I have
right?
not.
We all know a few people who have.
Yeah.
And the word that is coming to us is, from the people we've talked to, is best movie of the year so far.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, better than X-Men Days of Future Past, better than Captain America. We'll see, but I'm getting super stoked. Anyway, what about you, Amy Rose?
Yeah, it's been a great year for film so far. I love the halfway mark as well because we have so much more to look forward to. Number 5, I would put Boyhood, Richard Linklater. It literally showcased 12 years of this little boy growing up before your eyes. It's cinema at its best, like raise the bar for a whole other level. Number 4, I put Captain America 2. That was just such a fun spy thriller, raising the stakes again, Marvel. Number 3, Grand Budapest Hotel. Wes Anderson, need I say more? He's just such a visionary director. Number 2, Chef. I literally smiled the entire film. It warmed my heart, and it's just, Jon Favreau just showing where his career has gone and where he wants to go. And number 1, X-Men Days of Future Past. I have literally not had more fun in the theater in that film the whole time. Had everything I wanted and more. There's been other really unusual good ones. Only Lovers Left Alive was really unique. The Rover was really interesting. 22 Jump Street was great. The Lego Movie was fantastic. There's been a lot, but those are the 5 that I can't stop thinking about.
Schnepp?
All right, so my runners up, definitely Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
like
I love that
if we were
too.
doing a top 10, that would be in there. Neighbors, I could not stop laughing. I love that film so much. Captain America 2, also in my top 10. And so let's go with number 5 was Noah. I thought that was incredible, like the weirdest experimental film I've ever seen anyone spend $100 million on. Freaky and weird, like giant rock creature, angels. You got to see it. If you didn't see Noah and you thought it was some biblical thing, it's a biblical thing, but done by an experimental, wrapped in a strange egg floating
cool.
outside of the other
good.
universe that we exist in. So go see it. Number 4 for me was Under the Skin, an incredible film. It was, once again, another experimental film, I think, that really pushes the boundaries. The soundtrack and the sound design were amazing. Scarlett Johansson, Scarlett Johansson did
Definitely
such
reminiscent
good,
of
incredible
Kubrick.
performance as an alien. If you haven't seen it,
Hottest
see it.
alien I've seen.
Yeah. Number 3, it's funny you said The Raid 2, because number 3 is The Raid 2 for me as well. I could not believe how amazing that was. The action in it. If you haven't seen The Raid 2 and you saw The Raid 1, Raid 1 was just in a tower, very much similar to Judge Dredd. Raid 2 just goes all over the place. Hammer Girl. I mean, just a car chase sequence which will blow you away. I've never seen anything more intense. So you got to see The Raid 2. Number 2 for me was Jodorowsky's Dune. It was a documentary about Alexandro Jodorowsky's attempt to make this Dune movie in the 70s. It's going to have a Pink Floyd soundtrack. Mick Jagger was going to be it. Orson Welles was going to play Baron Harkonnen. Giger, Mobius, all these incredible designers who all went on to work on Alien. That's how they all met. Dan O'Bannon, who wrote Alien. So it was the genesis of so many other design teams, and they formed all these people who would then go on to make these masterpieces. Seeing that was such an invigorating, amazing, creative response. If you see that, it'll make you go want to do something. It's going to make you feel creative. So. And my number 1
Spider-Man
film,
2.
It'll make you want
Obviously.
to not do that. My number 1 film is X-Men Days of Future Past. I have not seen a blockbuster film yet this year that surpasses that as far as well-written, well-directed, amazing cast, super exciting, fantastic story. It was just so much fun. I've seen it 3 times in the theater. I can't wait. I want to see it a 4th time in the theater. So it's like, it really is my favorite X-Men movie, my favorite superhero film of the year. It's just really fantastic. So that's my top 5.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
Jeff Hudgens writes, "Hey guys, thanks for all the hard work. I've read several stories accusing the studio of lying about Transformers 4 opening weekend box office results. How can they fudge the numbers? Do the individual theater companies not report those numbers individually, etc.? Why would they fudge the numbers?"
Okay, well, for those you know, there are centralized tracking bureaus that actually follow this stuff, and they report on it and whatever. And all of them basically came out that the domestic box office opening weekend for Transformers, I was going to say Transformers Days of Future Past, Transformers Age of Extinction was actually 97 point something million dollars, 97. Paramount, however, said whatever, and they reported $100 million. At the end of the day, it's $2.7 or $2.8 million different. It's not a big deal. The reason it's being made a big deal out of, and I can get this, is the fact that it's that number. It's that $100 million opening weekend. There's marketing value there to say, and it's the first $100 million opening weekend movie of the year, blah, blah, blah. So I can see why but the reports I were reading that other studios are kind of laughing at Paramount right now, saying, whatever, if you want to lie, go ahead and lie. I mean, I was reading a story in Yahoo News that was basically, they wouldn't name the guy, but they said the head of distribution of one of the major studios is just basically calling Paramount liars and saying they're making fools out of themselves. But whatever, it's not like the movie made $60 million and they said $100 million. We're talking about 2 point something million. Not a big deal to me, but if it is what happened, then my assumption at this point is just for the marketing value of that number. Do you guys have any other thoughts on that?
Well, it's also to combine with the world box office, because I think the world box office was 202 or something.
300.
So they wanted
300.
300 with
That's
Transformers.
adding-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in order to make it 300, instead of we made 298 million, they just rounded that up to make it sound better, like 300 million. It just sounds better, like when you round it up a little bit.
Well, it's more like they say about the audience that's going to see the movies. They won't care. They won't even notice. But then you get the guys at the studios going, well, we care. That means a lot to us. Our movies didn't do that. So
Right. Well, they're just saying, we also included Monday.
Right.
300 million. So, it's because Monday made 3 million or whatever. So
If they were rounding up like 50 million, it would bother me, but 2 is not a big deal. I mean, the studios care for bragging rights. We just saw X-Men Days of Future Past took, the 2014 total so far for highest grossing film, and the margin is within 2 million. So that would matter for something like that. But for this, we don't care that much. Yeah.
All right, folks, so I said we would leave a few minutes at the end of the show for your questions. We are almost out of time, but we will take a few of them. So, Ashley, what are people asking on Twitter?
ASAP writes, which movie star, male or female, would you like to see as a comic book movie hero or villain, and who would they play?
We get this kind of question an awful lot. I mean, obviously, I think Leo DiCaprio poses some very interesting possibilities for something like that. But the one name that came up before, just because of the gravitas that he carries, is Daniel Day-Lewis. Obviously, the range is becoming more limited about what he could play and who he could play. But I think that would be kind of interesting. Any other names pop into your heads?
I mean, we were just talking about Tom Hardy before, but he's been rumored for Doctor Strange. Everyone that I can...
And we've already seen him in a comic book movie.
Oh, right, it's Bane. Everyone that I'm thinking of so far, in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, he's done it. Everyone's doing it right now.
Sam Rockwell came to mind. He was an Iron Man, obviously, but I want to see him in a starring role. But Emily Blunt, after Edge of Tomorrow, she would be an amazing...
Anything. An amazing...
Anything.
Insert name here.
Yeah.
Shep?
Well, I mean, we've already got Eva Green is playing, in the Dame to Kill for. So,
Intensity, yeah.
But I would throw her in a movie too.
Yeah.
A smaller role. I'd like to see Katie Sackhoff play a role as well too. I think
everyone's talking about her for like Captain Marvel. I was like the girl from Starbuck from Battlestar. I couldn't remember her name, so thanks for that.
All right, what's next?
Noah Outlaw writes, do you think Steve Carell could ever win an Oscar?
Yes, he could very well win next year.
For Foxcatcher.
He very well could. I mean, he's already shown, he's one of these very special actors that can seamlessly and effortlessly flow between the dramatic and comedy and be awesome at both. So I believe by the end of the day, we're probably going to see an Oscar on his
No question. And like the Way Back, again, if you haven't seen him do dramatic, phenomenal, and Foxcatcher, he completely is unrecognizable.
It's like his photo booth.
Yeah.
So Robin Williams, when he did that movie, was like unrecognizable.
Yeah.
You see him, you don't know it's Steve Carell until they say, and Steve Carell, because he is so creepy and eerie in that.
So creepy.
And it's the true story. He's got true story on his side, so I think it's a very good.
I will wait and see. I really want to see Foxcatcher, but a couple of his films lately, like Wonderstones, really pissed me off. So I'm like, I'm in the anti-Carell. I'm like, prove it to me, Carell. So.
All right, 2 more quick ones.
Okay, Travis Lynch writes, favorite film to watch right after waking up. Thanks.
Right after waking up, I have a little pattern that I have actually at night. It drives Anna a little bit crazy, but. I get into bed, I do some stuff on my tablet quick, and then as I go to I like to have something on in the background. It just helps me turn my mind off and go to sleep, and I put on Zoolander every night. Actually, I was putting on Zoolander every night for about 3 or 4 months, until, for whatever reason, the Netflix app on my Roku stopped working for a little bit. So I started using Amazon streaming, and for the last few weeks, every night I watch Spaceballs. But
Nice.
waking up, I don't wake up and turn on a movie.
No.
But going to
That'd
bed,
be nice.
those are the two I use to put on when I go to sleep. What about you guys?
I wake up in the morning and I put on Natural Born Killers and The Shining, and I say the day's got to get better.
Don't judge me, but I've had T2 in my PlayStation for like 6 months. When I don't want to turn on TV, I just flick it on, and yeah, same thing. I'm like, today's gonna be awesome.
Judge you, I want to hug you after that.
Blu-rays aren't dead. Anyway.
Actually, I mean, I don't wake up and watch movies or anything, but I did last week for some strange reason watch 2 episodes of Battlestar Galactica, the original series.
Oh, Lauren
Like,
Green.
yeah, the Lauren Green one. I just watched the very last one of the Battlestar Galactica, and then one of the 1980s. Like, we're on
How
Earth.
bad
riding
was that? They found Earth. And
It's so bad, but it was so pleasing to me for some weird reason. It's very pleasing. I will watch another horrible science fiction TV show. And you mentioned Zoolander, so I got to say, when I was in
Zoolander.
Albuquerque, New Mexico, one of the guys who flew me out there said, check this out, and showed me a picture, and it was him and Lou Ferrigno doing Blue Steel.
That's
Oh my
amazing.
They were doing
gosh, that is awesome.
Lou Ferrigno
That's amazing.
the next time you see Lou Ferrigno at any one of these sweat cons, go up and be like, look, I'll give you $30, but do Blue Steel. I don't want you doing the Hulk, son.
That's amazing.
Blue Steel this photo, because he was incredible. So
Pitch Perfect's been that film too. If it's on TV, I will put it on every single time and laugh every time and recite the lines.
All right, actually, we've run all out of time, folks. We got to move on and head on out for the day. But thank you so much for joining us. Listen, don't forget, lots of great films playing at AMC Theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and of course your movie ticket information. If you haven't done so already, make sure you click on the subscribe button, become a subscriber to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel, and click the thumbs up button as well. It's a good way of letting other people and letting us know that you actually like the videos that we do. And if you want an audio-only version of this show, look in the description of this video and you'll find a link to our iTunes RSS so you can listen to us on the way to work and hear audio-only versions of our podcasts. I want to thank the people sitting at the table with me. First of all, sitting to my left, Mr. Christian Harloff. Christian, where can people find you online?
Right here on YouTube, just Schmoes Know, and you can follow me on Twitter at Christian Harloff.
Sitting to my right, she is the senior editor of movie news at AMC Movie News. Well, I was going to give you the other title. I'm not going to say it yet because we're going to talk about the eye thing, but I'm not going to do that yet.
Cool.
Miss Amy Rose, we'll get to that later. Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach. Amy Rose, where can people find you?
Way to keep mystery alive, John. I like that. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Amy Rosie.
And of course, at the end of the table, Mr. John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you online?
Twitter, Instagram at John Schnepp. You guys can find all of us at the San Diego Comic-Con. Go to Schneppzone, I can't even speak, schneppzone.com/SupermanLives. Donate to my documentary, get a finishing funder credit in the end of it. So definitely come to Comic-Con. We've got a lot of cool stuff going on there.
And of course, our lovely host today, Miss Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I made an Instagram at Ashley Mova and tonight on the Pretty Little Liars After Show. See you later, guys.
And you guys can just find me on the various social media networks, just at John Campia. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name's John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.